Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 317, and it is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what is up?
Just finishing off the week and happy about it. It's been a long and good week, but tiring.
You're just back from Oktoberfest.
Back from Oktoberfest, man. I'm on the other side of it now.
Lots of Wiesencocks.
I wish I could go there for like 5 or 6 days in a row. It would just be like entering the Matrix or something. It'd be the Matrix of drinking and partying and songs.
Oktoberfest is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's work. You got to put in.
It's work.
It's like another
do the crime
job.
and do the time, my man. Like you gotta earn it.
That's right. You gotta earning your turns. You gotta earn your drinks, man.
You gotta earn that lederhosen.
Nobody's giving it to you. You gotta take that shit. You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. Well, speaking of earning it, we had a fantastic interview with our pal Tom Duke. He is a semi-ski bum. He's a ski bum out in Taos, New Mexico. He's
nice.
He's had a very cool, interesting life and is involved in a bunch of really cool things. One of those being earth ships. If you don't know about earth ships, it's a certain type of building, certain type of construction. You got to check it out. I'm going to have links in the show notes too for an interview he did. So
nice. Stay
tuned for that. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out. We're at skibumpodcast.com. We are on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube at Ski Bum Podcast. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Do you want to support the podcast and be part of our family?
Who doesn't?
We might invite you over for meatballs and Sunday gravy.
Yeah.
You can do that. Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. Join the family. Join the party. Get some meatballs.
Get some gravy.
Appreciate that. Yeah, get some gravy.
Grits and gravy.
Got a shop too. skibumpodcast.com/shop. You need some swag. Get ready for the season. Some hoodies, some hats. We got it there. So please check it out. Also, Snowbound Expo. Did you know we are about a month away from Snowbound?
It's coming up quick.
Boston. November 3rd through 5th in a new location at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center. Snowbound Expo will be bigger than before.
I wonder if Tom Brady's going to show up.
We're not. Listen, we know some
I'm not
secrets.
ruling it out.
We're not saying he's not. We're not saying he is.
That's right. We can't officially say that he's going there. Just saying.
There is a possibility.
There's always a possibility, right?
True. Anything is possible in this world. Crazy times. So check them out. Snowboundexpo.com. If you want more info about that too, we're going to have an interview next week. So stay tuned for that. 10,000. Do you need some dope gear? Are you going to ski yourself into shape again this year? Like a knucklehead? Blow out your knee, tweak your ankle, something? No, you got to train now. You got to put in the work. 10,000 can help you with that. 10,000.
Just going to give you skiing. You got to take it.
That's right. Take it, my friend. Athlete-led design. Test, iterate, repeat. Iron sharpens iron. The only way to become your best is to work with the best. They create gear that's built to perform. They collaborate with a team of the most obsessed and passionate athletes in the world on design, development, and testing of gear. Ultimately, the goal is simple. Create gear worthy of the world's top athletes, like me, like Mario, like you. Better than yesterday. At the heart of 10,000 is the idea of pursuit in business, fitness, life, skiing. They believe in moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and becoming just a little bit better than they were yesterday. I love that. Go to their site, 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15, all one word, BSCHNEIDER15. 15% off. You'll love it. I'm wearing the interval shorts like I always seem to do when I'm podcasting. I got a couple pairs. I wear them all the time. I love them. I think you'll love them too. So check it out. Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do.
It's time for Opry Today.
I'm trying to get through some of the medicine that I have. So I've
A
been,
spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
yeah, that's a spoonful of medicine is the sugar I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I got my medical marijuana, and I've been drinking that in my. This is a seltzer. It's a cranberry seltzer, so it's almost like a cranberry vodka without the cranberry,
Hey, Ric
but the
Flair?
cranberry flavor. That's right.
That's probably
Without
Ric
and
Flair's drink, cranberry vodka.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And without the vodka. So there's no cranberry and there's no vodka. There's cranberry flavor, seltzer, and a lot of weed. So it's kind of like I don't know, like the evolved way to have a cranberry seltzer, right?
Mm.
Like
I mean, really,
insane.
what these drinks are telling us is that botanists need to just start cross pollinating weed with every fruit. Just cut
Yeah,
out the
like
middleman.
we're evolving as a society, and this is part of the evolution of why are we drinking something that kills your liver all the time? Like I like something that relaxes me since I had a pretty stressful day, week after coming back from
Existence.
Oktoberfest because I wasn't at Oktoberfest. I was
Mm,
stressed. I came back. I had to go back to work. I was stressed. I was angry. I had a lot
yeah.
of anger this week. So this is cooling me off, making me nice and mellow. And I tell you, it's going to set me up for a nice sleep tonight. So I
Crunkleberry.
recommend yeah, I recommend if you have a card, do something like this. Do like an infusion. It's a really good way to go.
Yeah. I
How
like
about
that.
you, Brian?
So that's the squeeze.
No, this is so they have this it's syrup. So they have a maple syrup. You can
Sizzurp.
actually put it on your pancakes. This one is the unflavored one, but it's a syrup. So you put it in and you could put it in anything. You could put it in like desserts and stuff. Like I tell you that the possibilities for this stuff is endless.
Yeah.
And it's like maple syrup consistency, but this one isn't maple. They have one that's maple, another one that's vanilla. So if you're baking, it's perfect for frosting. You know what I mean? You mix that in there and put it in frosting, and you don't even have to bake it in the cake. You just dose everybody with the frosting.
Oh, I still think the idea, now this is a horrible idea. Don't even think about doing it. It's just going to your work and just bringing dosed up brownies and not telling anyone.
Hey, Halloween's coming. You can make some
Mm,
nice Halloween cookies with some special frosting, right?
that's right.
I mean, that's kind of the gift that gives back right there.
But you know what? Like I think it's be really poetic because it's always the people who are like always there like grabbing the free food. Like
Yeah,
just leave them out there and be like, "Hey, I don't know, just be careful. These are not for everyone." And
yeah.
they just
It's not fentanyl. It's just weed,
yeah.
and it's
Imagine you
Halloween, so be
imagine you
afraid.
had imagine you had got some weed. You wanted to like play a joke on your coworkers, give them the weed brownies, but accidentally dosed them with fentanyl and killed your whole department.
Damn, that's dark.
That's
But
dark,
that's a good
right?
Halloween. That's Halloween, right? That's a
That could be the plot
Halloween.
of some sort of Halloween movie, yeah.
I like that.
Like
We're gonna
The
have to copyright
Office.
that real quick.
Maybe like The Office goes like really dark.
Yeah.
Office and like just becomes like Nightmare on the Office Street.
I'm surprised they did. Oh, they did one of those. The Office did have the one where the guy was Packer was trying to um, uh, mend his ways, so he brought cupcakes from a fancy cupcake place for everybody, and everybody found out that he dosed them with all different types of freaking um, legal and non-legal drugs, and they were like seeing shit and doing shit that night, and it
Eh,
was pretty hilarious.
okay. So yeah. So it's if The Office has done it, then the others
Yeah,
it has been
exactly.
done because
Yeah.
those
People
copycatters.
bring in cookies, and I always look at like, what'd you do to this thing?
Yeah.
Did you did you put your penis in this, or
Just
did
D
you
and
do
B's all
something?
over it.
Did you spit in it? Like, what'd you do? Is there cat poo in this? Like, I don't know. I'm always weary because I'm like, that's just how I am. I'm like, I don't know if I want to eat. I don't know how sanitary you are at home, and you made this. That's
What's
great, but
what is it? Is it the pecan sandies or something where you put your thumbprint in there and then you put like a pecan in it? I don't know if that's the
oh
right.
yeah, they
There's
put
something
the
you
yeah
put your thumbprint in there. What if someone didn't use their thumb? What if they used a different appendage to just
right.
mark it out.
unwatch different appendage. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, people are savages.
No. Hey, would anybody want some bukkake cookies? I made
Cookies.
cookies. These look like they're from a package. Yeah, but I did something special to them. See the frosting on it? I mean, come on. Boo cookies. Oh yeah, it's Halloween. They're boo cookies, right? No,
Yeah,
they're boo
it's a
cookies.
ghost. Look at that white ghost. White ghost tastes kind of weird. God damn.
See?
You just
Now
don't
people
know.
are gonna think when they go to eat those holiday cookies, like, do you really know what's in there? Just saying.
Just check yourself.
I'd rather have just weed. How about
Be
that?
wary. There you go. See? Thanks, weed.
See? Thanks, weed.
You got my back. But I've just been so fat lately. I've just been eating everything.
You're huge. You're enormous.
I just feel gross. So I'm trying to find some cleaner stuff, and I've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. I've been trying to find these like electrolyte drinks, and I had that pickleball cocktail a couple weeks ago. Did a couple of the those Kill Cliffs, which aren't really like electrolytes; they're more of energy drinks. And I found this one. This is kind of the fancy one, and our neighbors gave us some ones to try, and I decided to just go all in about like a pack of 30. Why try one? Just buy a box of 30.
Don't try, just buy, right?
I'm a big believer in that. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the Amazon shopping cart.
Did
So
you
I got
buy gold this week at Costco?
Oh, I heard about that. I did not.
Now I feel left out. I should have gone.
Yeah, I know. So I got these Element packets. I think it's pronounced Element. LMNT. You ever seen these or tried them?
I think I've seen them. I never tried them.
Yeah. They have a bunch of different flavors. And the ones that our neighbors gave us were not this flavor. They were other ones. And I'm like, you know what? These are good. But you know what flavor sounds really good to me? Watermelon salt.
Oh.
That's the one I got.
Melons.
Watermelon salt. 100 or
1,000. Pornographic. Salty melons.
I don't know what you're checking out, but
salty melons.
1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of manganese. No, magnesium. Manganese. Jeez. And the one thing they talk about on the box, they're like, "Hey, we've got the salt," or something like that. Because it seems like a lot of things are like, we have no salt, and that's good. And these guys are like, no, you need salt to hydrate. That's what electrolytes are.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like salty watermelon?
A little bit. So it's almost like a margarita, a watermelon margarita.
I guess there is a little salt with the
salt the rim.
Huh.
It's actually weird for the very first time you try it, and you're like, huh. And you're kind of like, It's like that kombucha girl meme where she's like, and, It's really not bad. I like it. It grows on you, that's for sure. Because you're expecting sweet and you don't get it. What's that?
You put alcohol in it, right?
I didn't. This is actually just the watermelon salt. But they of course do say, hey, it also works great as a mixer. So
nice.
This is what I've come prepared for. So I've drank about this much of the bottle. So there's a little bit left.
All right. So what's going to be the liquor of choice?
Well, this is going to be we're going to get really weird here. Because you know what?
It's going to get real.
The world's a weird place. Mario knows. I'm a big fan of key lime pie. Probably my favorite dessert.
Oh, yeah.
I actually found key lime pie bubbly seltzer.
Nice.
So this is just it's actually.
I think LaCroix has one of those too, don't they?
Do they? You smell it, and you're like, it smells like crust, like pie crust and meringue and lime, which is pretty incredible. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in with the watermelon salt, and then
watermelon lime.
I found this. I don't know how old this is. I got some Kettle One cucumber mint.
Yeah, the botanical one. You're mixing some. This is evil genius stuff you're making right now.
This sounds like something that would be had at a summer party in the Hamptons.
You're a mixologist right now.
Yeah, this is something that like an Eyes Wide Shut party would serve.
No, Brian, you've crafted this. This is what you're crafting.
I was inspired by looking at the floor of my basement. You got you guys look at the cucumber from that botanical stuff.
Yeah, cucumber, watermelon, salt, key lime pie.
Not bad. That is
Huh.
not shabby. It tastes like someone took a garden and threw it in a blender. Hi ho,
Wow.
hi ho, like a garden in Russia.
So not bad, but would you say it's good?
You know what is weird about it? The cucumber is weird. You get like this
A
thing is
cucumber
really
watermelon is pretty good,
again,
right?
it works. Like my wife makes a cucumber watermelon salad with mint, and this has got cucumber and mint and the watermelon salt and a little bit of key lime, little lime.
See, the key lime pie, I think, might be throwing it off. It's the crust flavor, probably.
I got no
Key
problem with the crust.
lime,
I like to keep it crusty.
the key
I
limes
like to keep
is a
it
different
crusty.
flavor. The crust adds a little flavor in there that's a little vanilla-y, probably. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's
May
very
go.
subtle. It's subtle.
All right.
It's like when you're wearing short shorts and you get a breeze and it just blows across the nether regions. You're like, oh, like wasn't expecting that, but
Oh, that's the
I'm gonna
mint
go with it.
talking. It's like Ben Gay.
Sort of, I guess a little bit, yeah.
A little icy hot on there. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Bronner's on the taint,
On the taint.
lets you know you're alive.
Did that once when I was younger playing baseball, and it just kind of rubbed too much on the wrong place, and the sweat and the running of stuff just kind of got in there, and ooh, it was a 5 alarm fire.
Yeah,
Just saying.
it's uh, it's like
I
the
don't think I
opposite.
ever healed.
It's like smelling salts.
Oh yeah.
Smelling salts in the wrong spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Smelling salts for your gonads.
yeah. So I don't know. Mix it all together. Let's get a little weird. It's Friday night.
Yeah. That's right.
I
It is
think we
Friday.
should.
God damn.
I
I
think we
think
should
I
just get into it.
Let's go to ski news.
So holy smokes, it's going to be October in a couple days. I'm hoping to get this out by October 1st. We shall see. Maybe the 2nd. No promises. But yes, things are starting to go fast and furious now. I was just at a Ski Vermont event this week. Going to go to a couple other events next week, including Ski Utah and
nice.
Icon Pass event. And speaking of the Icon Pass, they put out a press release. The good stuff just got better with 2 new Icon Pass destinations for winter 23-24. And this is for the tri-state, mid-Atlantic folks. This is big. Oh, big-ish. Camelback,
Big-ish.
Blue Mountain in Pennsylvania joined the Icon Pass for 23-24, unlocking even more East Coast access for Icon Pass holders. Score your Icon Pass at its lowest current price till October 13th. Located in Tannersville, Pennsylvania, Camelback Resort, the largest ski mountain in the Poconos, not to brag, offers 166 skiable acres with a wide variety of terrain that is perfect for skiers and snowboarders of all abilities. Known for its ideal environment to learn the sport, Camelback takes great pride in its 60-year history of creating the ultimate guest experience. Blue Mountain in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, boasts the state's highest vertical and one of the largest snowmaking systems on the East Coast, providing the longest ski season in the Poconos.
Nice.
So if you are a Icon Pass holder, you will have access to 7 days each at Camelback and Blue Mountain with no blackout dates. If you're an Icon Base Pass holder, 5 days at each destination with select blackout dates. And they're also
Wow.
available on the Icon Sessions Pass.
So I've never done Blue Mountain, but I did Camelback a lot. I like Camelback. It was a fun mountain. Small
Camelback's,
but fun.
yeah, I think we did it. Oof, God, how long ago was that? We did it on like the weekend of President or MLK a bunch of years ago with Steve and Nestor.
Yeah.
Again, a million years ago. And it was fun, crowded, but still pretty fun.
Well, that's the
You know,
problem with Camelback. If you go midweek, it's great. Weekend gets a little crowded, but it's
Mhm.
kind of a nice mountain, nice layout.
it's kind of like wide.
Yeah.
It's a pretty wide mountain. I
Great for learning.
if I'm doing a quick day trip, I usually hit Blue Mountain at least once a year.
Oh, nice.
I like it. For me, it's probably the closest place. in the Poconos. I
Mm,
mean, it's almost it's funny the way it works out. They're almost the same. Like Shawnee, Blue Mountain, Camelback are almost identical time wise. But
yeah.
midweek, early in the season, like Blue Mountain can be fun. Like I said, I try to go there at least once a year. This makes the
Nice.
Icon Pass again a lot more
More
for
Indie-ish,
for me.
if you think about it.
Well, it just makes it more enticing for me because there's
Yeah.
nowhere near Epic. Like, I mean, the closest place is Hunter, and I'm not going to Hunter more than like 1 or 2 times a season.
But those are places you could take the kids as the learning,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Which is nice.
you know what's Blue Mountain's got a really weird layout because they have one of those you can park at the top of the mountain or you could park at the bottom of the mountain.
Huh.
And the top of the mountain, I mean, they have this really nice patio and outdoor restaurant, but there's a trail that almost like traverses across all the trails that to get to that
Hmm.
place. So there's some funky intersections that you run into there, but
Yeah.
you know, not a big deal
Hmm.
by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, I like it for a couple days during the season. I think it's a solid spot. So this is going to be really good for tri-state, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, maybe Virginia people. So new
Yeah.
options. It's never good having more. It's never bad having more options. So good
That's
news.
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So in other mountain news, Silverton Mountain gets new owners too. So
Man,
everything's getting bought. Like I feel left out.
this
We
stuff
need to
usually
own a
happens
ski mountain.
earlier in the year too. This is like summer activity, but it's happening
This
very
is
close to
last
the
minute.
opening. Yeah.
This is like boom. Hey, last minute. We just
Mm-hmm.
bought it. So Silverton Mountain, known for worldwide for the unique big mountain skiing experience, created by Aaron and Jen Brill. The skier is founded, built, and has been continually operated by Aaron and Jen Brill since its inception in 1999, when Aaron first moved to Silverton. The Brill's vision was for an all-expert skier with focus on big mountain adventure versus real estate development. In the 80s, the 90s, the ski resort industry was primarily about development of condos and real estate sales, making Silverton stand out for what it wasn't much as what it was. So when it opened in 2001, it became the first ski area to consist of all expert skiing with no easy way down, no clear-cut trails, no grooming, and no real estate development. All thrills and no frills.
That's
So
so
at the
I love
time,
that. That's so
yeah,
awesome.
oh, it is. It's pretty awesome. At the time, the ski industry had little interest in expanding expert skiing operations at existing ski resorts because the intermediate skiers were the ones buying the high-priced condos. So people wanted to be seen. They wanted the frills and they didn't want the thrills, where Silverton did the topsy-turvy. And now they became known, successfully unfolding Silverton and other resorts followed suit with more expert terrain expansions targeted at expert skiers. So Silverton just announced that it was acquired this week by a Colorado-based business called Heli Adventures Inc., led by Andy Culp and CEO Brock Strasburger as president, who both live in Colorado. The Brills stated that after 25 years within the volatile ski industry, they're looking forward to being able to focus on family and probably rip it up a little bit more. So the Standard, which is the news organization, sat down for Q&A with Aaron and Jen Brill to discuss the interesting history of Silverton Mountain and what to expect in the future. So we're going to look to this. This is going to be interesting. I'm sure there's going to be more talk about this. We got, this is pretty damn special praise.
Yeah, and I'm sure most folks who are hardcore skiers know about Silverton. I know, like again, one of my favorite Warren Miller films is the Line of Descent, and they feature Silverton at the end there. They have one lift, they have the heli operation, and you just go there with a guide. I think you have to go with a guide, or maybe you have to send some waiver if you don't. But it's just a giant gnarly mountain, and you just do your thing. I mean,
It's
it's
pretty
just
freaking
it's just
awesome.
it looks so awesome. And I know our buddy Nick, he was texting me this summer. He's like, dude, he's like, me and my buddy, we are doing Silverton this year. He's like, you in? I'm like, give me the deets. Give me the deets, baby, because that's one of the places like on my list. Very high up there.
Yeah.
And I love too. I love the whole, hey man, we don't care about real estate development. We don't care about all the nonsense, all the fancy bullshit. We just want the gnarliest skiing possible. Like that.
Oh yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that if you're real skiers and boarders, like this is what you want. Like this is what these places are few and far between, and the places that do it are they're very special spots. And it's great that the people they're selling it to seem to be pretty hardcore and they're not selling it to Vail or Altera and with plans to, we're going to expand, condos on the mountain or any of that stuff. It's a special place, and it looks like it's going to stay in special hands, which is good.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, rugged terrain, it keeps a lot of people away when they're looking for a vacation. So if you want skiing, we got to look for the ski places, not the vacation places necessarily.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and the bottom of the article talks about they were trying to get a second lift put in, but they even said it's not even going to happen for this season. So they've been talking about it for a while. It's still not going to happen, and that's fine. It's still going to be awesome the way it is, which is great.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool too. Like in that Line of Descent movie, they talked to Aaron a bit, and he's saying like, he went out there, like he had to dig the poles for the lift when he went out there. He didn't know how to do it, but he was just so dedicated to build it. He had a very specific vision for what he wanted to build, and he's like, I got to figure out how to do it.
Figure that shit out, man.
Yeah.
Necessity, the mother of invention, right?
Still holds to that, true. Right?
That's right. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I mean, are they going to have more heli skiing? Are they going to do like cat skiing? Are they going to just keep it natural and just let people hike and earn their turns? Like what's going to go on, right?
Yeah.
Interesting to see.
But
I feel left out. I think we got to buy a ski area now.
Yeah, right. I know. Hey, it's anything is possible these days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of new ownerships and we're staying in Colorado here, Echo Mountain in Clear Creek County was also sold. So after 7 years of ownership that saved the Echo Mountain ski area from the brink of extinction, Burwell Enterprises this week sold the small Clear Creek County operation to Jogan Inc., a company based in Englewood. So small Colorado companies selling to other small Colorado companies, which is good. Our goal with Echo Mountain was to create Colorado's most affordable, most accessible, and most diverse ski and snowboard destination, kind of the opposite of Silverton. Burwell Enterprises Chief Executive Peter Burwell said in a news release, "Our remarkable team members at Echo built that vision into a reality. My family is incredibly proud of that and them." Jogan Inc. is a shared services organization, according to a profile on the company's LinkedIn page. The growing company aims to revolutionize the staffing, transportation, security, consumer wellness, medical, and real estate industries with technological innovation and comprehensive solutions that bring communities closer together.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Is Jogan Inc., is that really a disguise for Joe Rogan Incorporated?
I think you have unlocked the secret here.
I'm just saying. I see it right there, clear as day. That's Joe Rogan Inc.
I mean, you crazy, Joe Rogan.
You crazy, Joe Rogan.
So Burrell acquired Echo in 2016 after the previous owners filed for bankruptcy. It has just 60 acres of skiing and one chairlift, but it does have lights that allow for night skiing. It's located on a slope south of Idaho Springs, whose lights are visible from the area at night. So if you are ever on I-70 and you're cruising back from Breck or Vail or any of those places, you shoot right past Echo. Maybe you notice it, maybe you don't, but that's where it is. And they got night skiing. So luckily it's staying in Colorado hands and might be worth checking out next time you're out there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So next up, we have very special places that people are starting to talk about now. Now, this is the time of year you get your best of where to go, travel advice, right? So, Outside Magazine came out with their 36 best places to visit in the US for adventure. And
And
I'll
they
turn this over to
categorized
Brian
this.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they did it in they had a bunch of different criteria. And I'm trying to plan I dying to do a cross country trip in the States. And this was
nice.
cool because it gave me a lot of good ideas. Some places that you kind of know about. You're like, oh, of course, you want to go there, you want to go
Possible
there.
destinations, right?
Possible destinations, things that you may think about, may not think about. And they had I was really surprised the mountain winner was the Catskill Mountains in New York.
Hmm.
That was,
Wow.
I got to be honest, that was surprising to me. I mean, it is
It is
beautiful
very
up
pretty
there.
out there. I would imagine
Yeah.
the smoke maybe, but I don't know.
They had Truckee as the backup. That was for mountain. But they had biking winner was in Monument Trails, Arkansas. I know
Huh.
nothing about that. Very cool. So they got a lot,
Nice.
they definitely have some quirkier things, which, outside's gonna, if anyone's gonna quirk it up, it's gonna be outside. But what I found
Yeah.
interesting was what they chose for ski destination. And what they chose, which will eventually be a good interlude into the main topic, is Taos
Hmm.
Ski Valley, New Mexico.
Wow.
Operating a ski resort is an inherently resource intensive business. Taos Ski Valley, however, has long taken a more conscientious approach, proving itself a maverick in the industry by committing to clean energy initiatives. Taos was the first major ski resort to become a certified B Corp, which means that its operations meet the highest social and environmental standards. Late last year, it became carbon neutral certified after reducing its carbon footprint. It now uses renewable energy to power snowcats, snowmaking machines, and chairlifts, undergone green building upgrades, and invests in offsite projects like reforestation and biofuels. Aside from its reputation for driving change, the main reason skiers flock to this resort in northern New Mexico is for the uncrowded, low key vibe. That and a
Hmm.
quick hike to steep chutes off the West Basin, bird's eye views of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains from atop 12,481-foot Kachina Peak, and the green chili stuffed breakfast burritos from Bumps Market in the village.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've talked about it in the past and shown. I have a book all about the Taos Ski Valley and the founders of it, and it's a fascinating story about folks from Austria, Switzerland who came over after World War II, founded this place. It's got a lot of very alpine Bavarian looking lodging and buildings, the ones that are still remaining down at the bottom. And it's one of those places again, I've never been there. Mario, I know you've never been there,
Never been there.
but it's one of those places like you look at the trail map on it, you're like, God damn, like this is what's it, 2/3, I think, black diamonds or double blacks. I mean, it's super, super gnarly terrain and it's in a beautiful
So
spot.
I have a cousin that lives in New Mexico, and he said the skiing there is pretty good. And I'm like, and there was another person on one of the ski trips that made friends with, and she was saying, she's from New Mexico, ton of good skiing out there. And I'm like, really? I would have never thought of it, but I guess it makes sense, right?
No, it doesn't make sense. That's
It
why
makes
we're
sense
like,
after you think about it, right? But like, you never
you got
think
the
about like
elevation.
top of mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's skiing an hour outside of Las Vegas, which again, you never think about that either. There's good skiing
Yeah.
in Arizona. If you go far enough north, Arizona Snow Bowl. Yeah, the Southwest is, it's easy to kind of not look past Colorado and Utah as being think of them as like the southernmost skiable areas. But yeah, there's New Mexico and Arizona and
Hmm.
I guess
Wow.
to a degree even southern Nevada that has some stuff that's worth checking out, which is a great interlude into our main topic. Mentioned it earlier in the podcast. We talked to our friend Tom Duke. Now, Tom, he reached out to us a bunch of years ago, just kind of commenting on our amazing ability to use "goddamn" in different ways, which I thought was
God damn.
pretty funny.
There's different goddamn
Um,
exclamations, There's There's
But
the
yeah,
regular. There's the, you know.
yeah, we've been chatting for years, and he always drops a line every once in a while, and always has a kind thing to say, and some interesting and fun information. And he's had a pretty cool, interesting life. And like I mentioned earlier on, he lives in an Earth ship, which
Man, that sounds awesome.
I will tell you, go look up Earthship homes and see what they look like. They look super cool. Some of them are crazy, out of this world. They're
I
just
like that there's unlimited possibilities you could do with it. Like you just get creative and make your own home.
completely like you really, and you can do it yourself. Like you can potentially build your own house using
Yeah.
this style. They use lots of old tires, old bottles. Tom talks about his fence, and he put in some time to get the building materials for his fence, and he'll give you some more information about that. We will put a link in the show notes to his YouTube video. I mean, it's got millions of views. It was
Definitely seems like you need a truck, right? You can't be like a Prius guy and think that you're going to be able to move all the stuff that you can. Like you need some big mover or something. I don't know. That's what it seems to me. Need the
yeah.
horsepower.
Yeah, you definitely need a Cybertruck would be lovely, probably,
Oh,
if it was
there you
real.
go. If
But
it was
they're
real.
all if it was
Sons of
yeah.
bitches. God damn it.
Yeah,
Musk.
there's Earthship Academy, 4-week training where you can learn about the theory, the methodology, the techniques behind Earthship construction.
Dude, I wonder if I could write that off on training for work, Earthship Academy.
Earthship Academy. And again, you're trying to get building materials, and beer bottles work great. So you're like, this is me acquiring building resources.
Nice.
Super important. So yes, this is and it seems to be a very Taos thing, but they do them all over the world. Like these are Earth ships, but they seem to have a special place down there. And Tom gives us a whole bunch of great details, talks about the Earth ships, but more importantly, talks about what it's like skiing and living out in the Taos Ski Valley. So we think you're going to enjoy it. Here it is, our friend Tom Duke. We have a very special guest today. This gentleman, he reached out to us probably a couple of years ago now. Checked out the podcast. Has a very, very unique point of view, perspective. He is charter member of the fan club out in New Mexico. A big welcome, Mr. Tom Duke. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here. This is like a dream come true for me.
You need to dream bigger, my friend, but thank you. It is great to have you today.
Well, I started, commuting a lot for my job in 2020, and I started skirting around all the different ski podcasts, and then I just kept coming back to you guys because I'd actually laugh out loud on some of your things. So that's what got me hooked.
Well, we greatly appreciate that because, we feel like we fill a very important niche in the ski world because some people just take themselves too seriously. Like they're too awesome. Like we're just like trying to be your buddies in the car, on the plane, like going to your next ski trip and having a good time. Like, cause that's really end of the day, skiing. It's not that serious. It's pretty fun. So
that's
it should
right.
be laughs. Should be good time.
Yeah.
So yes, Tom, so you have a very cool and interesting background, at least the part that I know. I don't even know your whole origin story. And that's kind of thing like we love talking about when we get any of our, interesting people we talk to on the podcast is their origin story. But for now, so where are you located? I know I mentioned New Mexico already. Where is your home mountain and how did you end up there?
Well, my home mountain is Taos Ski Valley, and I ended up in Taos because my wife and I got really interested in Earthship construction, which is self-sustaining houses made out of recycled material. So we started to go to Taos where they build them and learn about them and everything. And then we started thinking about living there because we wanted to build one and we wanted to be near where the Earthship builders were so we could have good advice and everything. We wanted to build our house ourselves. I also noticed that Taos Ski Valley was nearby, and I knew that we were planning on having kids. So even though I wasn't a skier at the time, I knew it was going to be cool to raise kids at a ski area, and that was always my plan.
Oh, so you weren't actually a skier when you ended up in the Taos area?
No, the interesting thing is my kids, when they were about 8 and 6 years old, they got me into skiing and they taught me how to ski. So it was kind of a, I lost you.
You broke up for a second. You said your kids 8 and 6 got you into it.
Yeah, they were like, I had been paying for their lessons at this Better Shredder program, and they were loving skiing, and they just kept asking me why I wasn't skiing. I was just busy like building my career in a house. But then when they really wanted me to join them, I stepped up and got the gear, and they trained me, and it was kind of a cool reversal.
That is really cool. Now,
Yeah.
but you weren't just some guy like just sitting around doing nothing and decided you're going to start skiing. Like you have an athletic background, right?
Yeah, I was a pro volleyball player. I played pro beach in the summers all over the American beaches, and then I'd go to Europe and play pro indoor. I did that for about 12 years. My wife and I, she was a pro volleyball player too. We retired and then went on a search around the country for a place to settle down and build a house and build a life. And that's how we ended up in Taos.
So what were some of the silver and bronze medal places that you looked
It's
at?
funny. We checked out Jackson Hole. We really liked it. It was funny. We weren't skiers, but we were looking at ski areas. We were looking at the places around Mammoth. We wanted to be in the mountains. And it just ended up that Taos was like the most affordable, least populated, kind of like Taos is a really amazing city for being a small city. It's got a whole art scene and the Native American Pueblo and the ski valley, and we're just like, we like it here. So we ended up staying there. It was just way more affordable than anywhere else. We looked everywhere. We looked Oregon, we looked California, Wyoming, Montana, and we ended up in Taos.
That's pretty cool. Now, getting back to the whole Earthship thing. So you mentioned it's sustainable. How is this something that you knew about when you were moving there and wanted to get involved with it? Or is that something that you kind of learned about when you got there?
We had read an article in the LA Times when we were living in LA and playing beach volleyball about the Earthships. And like, we saw this crazy guy, Mike Reynolds, building houses out of recycled tires. And we were kind of do-it-yourself people, and we wanted to be independent. And man, it just made sense to us. And we just started going out to Taos to learn more and more about the Earthships. And then one day, the head of the Earthships, the designer, Mike Reynolds, he just said, "Hey, give me $10,000. You can start building tomorrow, whatever the heck you want." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you should build this little thing called the hut. You can do it for $2,500 and you'll be in a self-sustaining home that heats and cools itself." And we jumped on it, and it was just a big leap of faith. And we started building right then and there, one day after giving them $10,000.
So how much of this did you actually do yourself, this Earthship?
Well, this hut, we actually made a video about how to build a hut. It's on YouTube still, and it was
Now this has millions of views too, right?
Yeah.
Like millions.
Uh-huh. Well, I've been a big proponent of the Earthships, and I've done ER for the company a little bit, and I just really believe in them. And we can get into this maybe later, but like the freedom you get from having build your own Earthship and how independent you are, it's a lot like skiing. It gives you that independence and that kind of that outlet. And a lot of skiers have built Earthships, and like once they built their own house with no mortgage, they're super free to become highfalutin ski bums.
Everyone's dream, right?
It is. Mike Reynolds has got a lot of ski bums into a warm, house without any exterior, energy needed, just interacting with the thermal mass and the solar and all that kind of stuff.
So I'm just so fascinated by this. So you drop the 10 grand, you start building your place. How long is that process from starting to finishing and having a house built?
Well, it was so crazy. We were 32 years old and 30 at the time. We had so much energy, and we just wanted to build this survival structure before winter. So we did it in 2 months. We built this little hut, and we were in there, and we were warm, and we had a little solar panel and a camping stove. Our family thought we were crazy because we were living out in the middle of the high desert in this little tiny dome. But it gave us the freedom to not have a mortgage and to learn how to build Earthships and to learn what kind of design we wanted. And so over the next 25 years, we've been adding on to that hut. So now we have like a 3,500 square foot house, but it started in 1997 as a $2,500 little hut. My son actually lived in the hut for a few years when he and his brother decided to separate from their roommate situation in the main house. So
that is so awesome. So you started in 97. It's like a living house almost.
Yeah, it's the house heats and cools itself. It harvests rainwater. We grow food in the planters. We recycle and clean our water. We treat our sewage. It's a self-sustaining house, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's not for everybody, but my wife and I did most of the work ourselves, and we have a little loan that we're paying off, a construction loan. But other than that, it's been super affordable, and it's kind of allowed me to start skiing 70 days a year, which I've been doing over the last 10 years. And now my kids are. We're empty nesters, and life is getting really easy now. So that's why I invited you and Mario to come out and ski anytime you want. We have a nice guest room, and we'll take care of you.
That is so awesome. And yes, thank you so much. And I really hope we can get out there soon.
Well, you guys, I just want to say, like, you guys are just so amazing. Like, I have so much fun listening. I look forward to it every day. I'm not just blowing smoke right now. I just, like, you guys have talent, and I crack up sometimes when I've been listening to the podcast for 45 minutes and I go, shit, they haven't even mentioned skiing yet, but it's still fun.
We are trying to fix that a little bit too, trying to get into the skiing faster and break it up into multiple podcasts. Well, we're going to still do it, but we're going to break it into multiple ones. So,
right.
We've gotten the people who are like, you don't talk about skiing enough, bro. It's like, well, okay, listen, we'll talk plenty about skiing. It's like, also, hey man, it's July. Like, we're doing what we can here. We're trying to enjoy the summer too, but yeah,
I also love the fact that, like the top level skiers, they're amazing and I worship them, of course. But like you and I and Mario, we're like the real kind of skiers. We do it because we love it. And, maybe we're not the top level skiers on the mountain, but we're pretty good and just have so much fun doing it. And that's what I liked about your ski podcast was it wasn't just like experts talking about expert things. So.
Because we can ski really well, but yeah, we're also dummies at the same time. Like, I mean, there was a time a couple of years ago, me and Mario were skiing together, and I went up to go and like spray him with snow, and I actually fell and bent my pole. Like, that's the kind of stupid things that you and your buddies do. And like, I'm not gonna be like hucking like triple black flips off a cliff. Like, I wish I could. Like, that's not me at my age right now. Like, I gotta pay insurance. Like, I pay my own insurance. Like, if you're 16, you double back flipping because you're on your parents' insurance. Like, that's awesome. That's you. You do you, my man. It's like, but yeah, it's like you're at a different phase right now. And like, we mentioned before we started the podcast, like I have the little kids now, so I'm trying to get them fired up. So like, I'm trying to be like let's have a good time and do some skiing guy instead of being like the cool guy hanging out till 2 a.m. drinking and hopefully like stumbling onto the first chair. Like, that phase is gone. Now we're going on to another phase, and it's, ebbs and flows of life. They're all beautiful for different reasons. And I'm just trying to share those experiences, and it's cool. Like, people like you find it and enjoy it. So that's why we do it, because people do enjoy it.
Well, I'm excited for you because my kids are in college now, but like the best times of my life, and I'm really into like appreciating the perfect moments in life. And most of them have to do with my sons and myself skiing. Like us spending all Saturday and Sunday skiing together. There's just nothing better. It's just the best dad time you could possibly have.
And there's also those moments where like it's miserable. Like the days start out miserable.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I even doing this? And then all of a sudden, like something changes. Like they make one good run. Something starts to click with them, and the whole thing turns around, and everything that was bad just vaporizes, and it's all just positive, like fun memories. Like you forget the bad part because it was so great.
Yeah. And the Better Shredder program in Taos, they really made it fun for the kids, where they had candy hidden all over the mountain. They'd have like chicken and rice for lunch, hot chocolate. So the kids got a good love for the sport, before we started. And they've been pretty tough. The funniest thing was last year I hit a jump and I tucked my legs and I thought I was all awesome. And couple teenagers were like, yeah, bro. And then I told my kids down at the lift, I'm like, that I got a cheer from these teenagers. And my youngest son said, well, they were probably just making fun of you, Dad. And I was like, well, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Like, you don't know that. You don't know that.
You don't know that.
Yeah, it's one of those sports like it, because golf. I guess it's fun. Some people are into it, but for me, like skiing, like it makes me feel like a kid again. I mean, how many things, like how many sports are there that if you tried playing football right now, like we've talked about this recently in the podcast, there's people that we know who think that they can actually gain yards in the NFL, like as 40-something-year-old out of shape men. And I was watching games yesterday, and every play I was like, God damn, my hip hurts just watching that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. We're not gonna go play football tomorrow. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Your buddy that said that is absolutely insane, and he'd probably get injured right away. I mean, those guys are so finely tuned. Holy crap!
God, like I used to watch a lot of football as a kid, and I kind of got away from it. But I started watching it yesterday because my son's playing flag football, and I don't want him to be that kid, which he is right now, kind of standing around like not knowing what he's doing. I'm trying to like, hey, look at this. He's more of an individual sport kid at this point, but I'm trying to like show him some things. I'm just watching the game. I'm like, the athletes are so good. There's like not even like there's no weak spots on any defense. Like everyone is an absolute beast. Like,
well, how about those hero guys on the mountain that just carve at such high speed? Their skill level is so insane. I'm just blown away. My friend Todd Gravel, he just shows off by carving on one ski with the other ski up in the air. Like, it just blows me away how amazing some of these athletes are. So I try not to hurt anybody. I stay out of everyone's way.
What's so cool about skiing too is, it's funny, like you watch like those old Warren Miller movies from like the 60s and 70s, the whole like ski ballet phenomenon that was like a thing for a while. It just over time, like there just becomes different things you can do on the mountain. Like, yeah, you can do the ski ballet, you could do moguls, you can do freestyle, you can do like it just seems to be growing and growing, all the things you can do, fine tuning to, what you like doing. Like people do aerials. Like I would never want to do that, but it's incredible to watch them. Like you're just standing at the top of this massive slope, this massive ramp, and you just fly off and do, 15 backflips, twirls, whatever's. Like it's just so cool to have that many different things that you can do, so you can kind of figure out what you're into and go pursue that on the mountain.
I've really gotten into trying to carve, because that just is like those guys that can carve and make those perfect turns. I just have so much respect for it. And my kids, they never really carved. They don't even know what it is, because they just go down the mountain as fast as they can and jump off everything. And I was actually showing my 17-year-old how to carve last year, and man, he picked it up so quick, and just that youth in the legs. And it's just what a lifelong pursuit to learn how to carve, because man, getting on those edges and you get that extra speed from it, it's wild.
And that's where we got you beat on the ice coast, because we have plenty of steep, icy terrain that makes you a great carver. Because it's almost like there's mornings where you're like, should we wear ice skates instead of skates today? Because God, there's been some days where we've been up in Vermont, and it's a crappy 50-degree rainy day, and then it drops to 10 degrees overnight, and you're like, tomorrow morning is going to be an interesting one. And we joke around, instead of getting first tracks, we call them first scrapes.
Yeah.
There's just days you just
I've never had a bad day skiing, but one late May day at A Basin, it was so icy and so cold that I just gave up after an hour and a half. I was just like, none of my friends would ski with me, because the conditions, they're snobby, but I still charged, and it was just too much. I just had to stop. It's the only time I ever gave up on a day.
You still made the effort though, so points for that.
Yeah. Because every day is better skiing than not.
Oh, 100%. So now you're saying you're getting over 70 days in.
Yeah.
A season.
Yep.
Now, are those primarily at Taos? Like, where are some other places that you like to hit in your area?
Well, Taos is my main mountain, but my buddy Dr. Dan lives up in Leadville, Colorado, and I go to A Basin and Copper a lot with him and Monarch. And then we go to Wolf Creek in the early season, like October and November. And my kids and I, we actually ran into a giant bear one October in Wolf Creek on the slope, which was kind of cool. And then I also like Sipapoo.
It's cool because you can talk about it. It could have gone very poorly too.
No, I just raised up my poles, and that seemed to scare them away eventually. But we also do like Pajarito, and that's in Los Alamos, and Angel Fire, Sipapoo. My kids, they just love going to new ski valleys. Like that's really something they like to do. So we try to go to a couple new ones every year.
Isn't there one by you, Red River or something?
Yeah,
I think you sent me the link to that.
Yeah, it was $29 at the end of spring break. It's a big mountain. It was amazing for $29. My kid and I had the best time. They had a really nice little terrain park, and we really enjoyed it.
You know, it's so funny. Like again, you think of as a dummy on the East Coast, you think of New Mexico, and yeah, you think of Roswell. You think of the Mexican border. Like you have to really be a skier or know the terrain to be like, oh, dude, there's some amazing skiing out there in the Taos Valley. And once you start doing a little research on it, and like this book you showed me, the history, and it's incredible what they built there, and they were smart enough to know to move down to that area. Ernie and the guys who put this together after World War II.
There's a whole European tradition at Taos Ski Valley, and serious ski school. And when I first started skiing 11 years ago, it was a really neat mountain. It was kind of rinky-dink, but we had techno concerts and wild parties, and the martini bar was pumping, and they let my kids play pool in the bar. It was super fun. Now we have this billionaire, Mr. Bacon, bought it, but he kind of won us all over because he's put these amazing lifts going all the way up to the ridge. And it's looking more like Vail right now, but the improvements as the pure skiers, we can't deny that we like them. So I miss the old days a little bit, but like I said, the Kachina Peak lift is amazing. It takes all up to the 13,000 foot peak up there.
And that opened 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, and it's interesting to tie it back into Earthships is the Mr. Bacon originally commissioned Mike Reynolds, the Earthship designer, to build a warming hut on top of the mountain, but they went with another design, and I was just I really wanted to work on that project. That'd be a lifelong goal to have an Earthship warming hut at the top of Taos Ski Valley. Maybe it'll happen in the future.
That was one of the first thoughts I had. I'm would it be possible to build an Earthship lodge, or is it just too open of a space to handle that sort of construction?
Well, it's a good question, and there is a formula to ceiling height and being buried and windows, and but you can do it. And the neatest thing about Earthships is you could be a ski bum and not be able to afford heat at your house, but you don't need heat in an Earthship. So you're always going to be warm at night in an Earthship. So you can live way up in the mountains on a negative 20 degree morning, and it'll still be 65 degrees in your house with no outside heat. It's kind of wild.
So now is one of the key ingredients to where you can build an Earthship is being able to build into the ground?
Well, that's how they first started, but then it turns out that we started building them above ground, but burying them on the north, east, and west. So the entire kind of back of your house is buried in earth. And that's why we use the tires filled with rammed earth, because they're strong enough to be able to handle all that weight of the dirt piled onto the back of the house. And so tires are this amazing building material that, it's just been a great material to use, and it's completely free. People just will give you the tires because it costs so much money to get rid of them. So yeah, in the end, I feel like I built a little bit of a Earthship ski.
Pause it for a second. But yeah, so you got me thinking now. What about like a mid-mountain members only Earthship lodge? that's almost like hidden in the mountain, and maybe it's on like a double black run that it looks like it's just a big cliff drop. But
Yeah.
if you're in the know, you can go around and you can get in there for your members only experience.
Hey, I love it.
Possible.
It's been a lifelong project of mine to get airships everywhere I can. I've been to Hawaii, Scotland, Mexico, all over the world, Nicaragua, building airships. But like my dream is to do an airship lodge or an airship, house at a ski valley. Be just wild.
I think I can see people just like sending it off this cliff, and
Just,
they don't even know that there's this amazing Earth ship built into it. But those who are in the know, they know. But everyone can enjoy it.
well, as you drive up to Taos Ski Valley, if you look up to the mountains, you'll see about 30 airships built right into the mountain, right into the granite, and all you see is the windows. And a lot of ski bums have lived there through the years. It's on a really steep mountain that you need a 4-wheel drive to even get to, and it's amazing. It's right out the mouth of the valley that goes up to the ski area. So just like 7 miles from Lift 1 is an airship community. And like these ski bums that live there, when they get a heavy snow, they don't even bother with their cars. They just jump and ski off the mountain down to the road.
What more could you ask for as a ski
I know.
bum? That sounds amazing. So now more about the Earth ship. So how does it work in terms of getting a land parcel? Like, can you just do it anywhere? I mean, granted, I know it's zoning and everything is different in different places, but where you are in the Taos Valley, like if you were like going out there tomorrow and I'm building, Tom, I need help. I'm building my other ship. How do I start?
Well, yeah, the county of Taos is well versed in airships, so it's like building any other house. You'll just get a design, a piece of property, and make an application. We actually have an airship community with like 70 houses or 100 houses. There's going to be like 50 more, but you kind of have to build into the community and follow the HOA rules for airships, which is kind of funny. But they do adapt to any environment, and you can build them really anywhere in the world with a couple variances. So they're very doable. They're labor intensive. They're also a little bit tricky to build, and you kind of have to be smart and handy to do it. But it is a great way to live, being on a snowy morning without any forced heat pumping into your house. It's just all natural, tapping into the earth's temperature and all that kind of stuff.
And you mean, obviously, if you got snow up there, the temperature is getting into the teens and 20s in the wintertime, and you still the Earth ship still keeps you nice and toasty, huh?
Yeah, and I have a little wood burning stove in mine, and man, like if it's cloudy and cold, sometimes the airship will get a little chill in it. But I just, about 10 times a year, I'll start up that little wood burning stove. And because the airships have such tight insulation and mass, that little stove just heats the whole house up in no time. So it's really cozy. And, we have lots of parties at my house after a full day of skiing. We have a fire outside and a fire inside, and kids running around crazy, and, hopefully not getting too much secondhand smoke into their brains.
So, we all got a little bit, right? Builds character.
Yeah.
So what do you think some of the reasons are that people haven't, or maybe it's a larger question for the big corporations? Because I guess you said Taos is owned by, is it a company or a family, or how is that?
Well, the guy that designed the airships, he started in 1969, just building houses out of trash for his friends to get them sheltered. Mike Reynolds, he's been running the airship company, and he's, it's kind of small by design because I don't think he wants to lose control of the designs and everything. But, I think a lot of architecture is using a lot of the principles from airships now, and houses are getting like smarter, and they're being built better, and there's a lot more harvesting of water and solar. So I think the airships have been like the seed that kind of has encouraged a lot of change in architecture. But a straight up airship, like Mike, he's really stringent about what it is and what it has to do. So, it has to be built out of recycled materials. It has to collect rainwater from the roof. It has to treat sewage. It has to do all these things to be a real earthship, and it takes a lot. They cost the same as a normal house to build because the earthship actually does so much.
Okay. And it definitely has a unique look to it too. And you know, if you're Vale, if you're Aspen, and you're used to this like mountain pine, big windows kind of look, it's not the same look as you're getting with the Earthship. So
yeah, but we had the actor Dennis Weaver who liked that look, and we built a couple of houses for him in Colorado and Ridgeway, and then one in Taos, kind of with that look, and it kind of works. It looked really nice, you know. It had a kind of a cowboy theme and everything, and you can make it look that way. But again, you know, Mike Reynolds is one of these kind of genius guys that doesn't want to compromise. So I think he might have a hard time working for, you know, or advising for these companies unless he has control. And that's what I've always loved about him too, is he's just uncompromising about this idea.
yeah, when you mentioned all the features that it had to have, my first thought, because the kind of person I am, was like thinking about how bourbon has to have, there's certain requirements for something to be named a bourbon. You know, it's got to be 51% corn mash. It's got to be aged in unused charred oak barrels. It cannot have any sort of extra flavors added to it. So, you know, it's about standards, God damn it. And we're losing that a lot in this world. So it's good to see someone that still has them.
Well, like, for example, like if we build a fence in our community, it has to be built out of recycled material. And so I have this giant fence that buffers my house from the main road. It's built out of about probably 5,000 beer bottles. And you know, it's like beer bottles are indigenous to the planet. And I have a symbiotic relationship with beer. And it helped build my house, and it helped build my fence. And it all kind of comes together in that way.
And the beautiful thing is you're probably never going to run out of opportunities to get fencing then, will you?
Yeah. I have a shot in one of my videos where I pound a beer and then I slam it into the wall and cover it with adobe mud. And that's the fun thing when we're all on the Earthship crew. You know, we worked hard all day, and then we drink beer, and then the next morning, all those beer bottles would go into the project. So it was this crazy symbiotic relationship that I really love, you know, just reducing the amount of garbage you make and using it for something useful.
You're like, honey, I'm securing building materials right now. Don't bother me.
Well, people always ask me about my fence. They're like, did you drink all these beers, you know, did you make all these beer bottles? And I always just tell them I would never admit to that.
Not in one day.
Yeah. But it's amazing when you see your beer bottles pile up over the years, and you look at that pile and you go, oh my God, you know, it actually shows you how much you've been drinking. So it can freak you out sometimes. I mean, I would assume you and Mario would be in the same predicament as me.
Yeah. Honey, we need a bigger fence. Doing my part. Part. So I love the Earthship thing. I mean, again, this book and just the conversation with you like makes me really want to get out there and explore Taos, because it's one of those places. It seems like it's got character still, which is, you know, something we've talked about a lot on the podcast, is how we seem to be losing a lot of the character in a lot of the bigger ski resorts, because again, they're being bought up. They're being laid into like a plan, a cookie cutter mold that, you know, Vale of course wants, that increases profit and benefits shareholders, which, you know, is so important to us skiers. It's so cool seeing that, you know, personality, character, community. That's what makes a great ski area. You know, it's the people in the community. I mean, well, that seems like what you guys got going there at Taos.
I don't want to promote Taos too much because I don't want too many people to live here, but you know, it has the sunshine more than any place. It's got the champagne powder. It's got affordable land still. It's still in the Rocky Mountains, in the southern part of the Rocky Mountains. My friend Lily and Peter, they're really good skiers. And like Lily was telling me when I was looking at like Big Sky in Montana and stuff like that, she's like, Tom, this is the secret spot. It's the most challenging mountain, one of the top 3. It's got, you know, the great weather. I mean, there's a lot of amazing things about living near Taos Ski Valley. And I've been looking at other places just because I'm kind of like you. I think I like to dream about going to other places, but I haven't found anything that's going to give me what I need, other, you know, like Taos does. Nearby Angel Fire, that's kind of an interesting place. It's a lot of like Texas tourists go there. And when I ski there, I'm one of the best skiers. That's one thing I like because it's not an expert mountain, but it's still a big mountain and it still has the sunshine and all that. And so I've been thinking about moving there because it's more affordable too. But I just keep going back to Taos Ski Valley. There's so many characters, so many amazing ski bums. I mean, I think I talked to you about like all my feral ski bum friends, and I have 25 acres out on the high desert. And one of my dreams is to have a feral ski bum ranch where we just have, you know, a big giant airship and just all the ski bums can spend the night there.
Like a commune.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe I become a cult leader, which maybe I've always wanted to be. So
we all have. We've all had that dream. Come on.
You know, we've all dreamed of it. Let's be real.
It's so funny. Like when I was in college, I remember like I wasn't even a skier back then. And I just remember being like, I want to go to Jackson Hole. I want to have a giant ranch and I want to have a bunch of wives. Like, again, like I had cult leader dreams early. And again, if I bought something back then in Jackson Hole, I'd be like friggin' Kanye now. Well, maybe that's a bad thing because that guy's got some issues right now.
I mean, there is part of life is like we only take on what we can handle, I guess. Like, I mean, if I won the lottery, I'd probably buy a huge place up at Jackson Hole, and I'd probably ruin my marriage and start becoming a real jerk. So, like, you know, maybe it's good that I have this humble existence. But when I ski with my best friends all day, and it's one of those perfect days, and we're drinking beers afterwards, and I mean, that's as good as life gets. We all know it. All the skiers know it. I mean, why pursue anything more? My friends that are super wealthy, they're on their cell phone all day. I don't really need that.
Oh, I hear you there. I feel like I'm at like one of these pivot points in my life, you know, like which you're at the fork in the road, you know, like
roads
diverge.
Weren't you like there was some March deadline I remember, like you were going to make a change and then it kind of came and went. And I'm like, I understand you got young kids, but I was rooting for you.
I'm so full of shit. I really am. Like, I keep pushing it out. You know, it's like, oh, it's going to be March 2022, man. Like, that's what I'm going to, you know, tell my boss to shove this job. And, you know, I'm going to go live my best life. But yes.
Well, I saw that episode where you and your wife did an episode together. And I was like, man, Brian's got a great wife. She seems like she has a real positive attitude. Like, if there's anyone you're going to do something with like that, you probably need someone like her. Like that's how my wife was. Is she was just willing to live in a tent while we were building our house. She just was tough like that. So
my wife ain't that tough, I assure you.
Yeah, she probably needs a 5-star hotel, but
she's a little. Yesterday, there was a spider on her shirt, and I thought she was getting attacked by a king cobra. Like it was like that level of chaos and insanity and screaming. But
right.
She's wonderful to a degree, yes, but no, she's actually a great skier. When I first started getting into it, like she helped me a lot because she grew up when she was in her like formative years, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. She was in Norway, so she was skiing every weekend up in the Lillehammer area with schools. I mean, pretty incredible. And then you know, she's a natural athlete too. She was always like a basketball player, and she's very athletic. So she's been a great ski buddy. But she's also a woman. So there's some
highfalutin needs.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need to get into details and get yelled at, but you know what I'm saying. She's gonna want to quit early, and it's too cold. It's too this. It's too that.
My wife's kind of crazy. She's so tough that she wants to stay in the worst hotels all the time. Just because she wants a bargain, and I've had to put my foot down. I'm like, I can't do that low of a hotel anymore, you know. So, and then my cousin told me I married this girl because we went down to Baja California and just slept on the beach for 2 months once. And he's like, you're not going to find another girl that'll do that. So I guess I feel lucky about that.
That's pretty awesome. I think based on the story, that sounds like you've chosen pretty wisely.
Yeah, 26 years we've survived and raised 2 boys, so I'm feeling pretty
Congratulations.
right now. And still skiing's the base of my fatherhood. When my boys come home from college, we go skiing and we get caught up talking on the lifts, and then you get that outlet of the physical skiing combined with getting to talk to them on the lifts. Such a good combination.
There's so many like metaphors and life parallels too. You can kind of tie skiing to, you know. It's like, yeah, you see this black diamond and there's this double black and it looks pretty gnarly. And like, but you know, you ask, what are you made of? Like, do you want to just go around it on the blue? Like, that's one way to live life. Or you could just dive right in and see what you're capable of. See,
They're
right there.
insane. My kids, like, we go to a new ski area and they want to go to every black diamond. And I'm the one who's scared. They've been skiing since they were kids. So to them, it's nothing. But like, I've had the hell scared out of me a lot trying to keep up with these guys and my ski bum buddies I have like 10 different like instructors up at Taos Ski Valley that are like invested in my ability. And man, they push me and it's scary. I mean, I slid down one of those bowls like 100 feet once. And my boys were just laughing at the bottom. And but that's what keeps us young and alive, taking chances like that.
And how good does that first après beer taste after a day like that?
Oh.
There's you could be forget champagne on a yacht. Forget it. It doesn't even. It's like pond water.
Well, yeah, my philosophy in life is I wanted to write a book called the Earn Your Beer Book of Sports and Fitness. Like you got to earn those beers by working out or skiing, and like they taste so much better that way. And,
amen.
So I really believe in that, and I've always done that. Even with volleyball, I'd work out super hard and train, and then it would allow me to have 4 beers a night and not be guilty about it. So I'm working out for my alcoholism, I guess.
There you go. It's like the Bert Kreischer school of drinking. You know him, the comedian?
Oh no, I don't know him.
I'll have to send you a link. He has this one speech on YouTube. He's like, I will never stop drinking. He's like, I will stay in shape just enough so that I can always drink. And it's like a lot.
You guys were so funny the other day because Mario was saying like, I just don't trust people that just don't drink for no reason. Like I get it if they have a problem, but if they just say no, I don't drink, and I started laughing out loud because I'm kind of the same way. I'm just like, what do you do with your life if you're not having a beer for a reward once in a while?
I think I told the story in the podcast. We went to my wife's uncle is a recovering alcoholic, and we went to their house the day after Thanksgiving. And it was myself. She's got 2 sisters and a bunch of cousins. So everyone was in their like 20s and 30s. And we're all just like sitting there like what do we do? There's adults and there's us. Like, what are we supposed to do here?
Yeah.
I had no idea. It was the weirdest day ever. The longest day ever.
I get it.
We should have snuck something like a little like a flask or something. But yeah, it was, again, we're not trying to all get hammered, but like just like 1 or 2 and laugh and have me tell some stories. But it was just bizarre.
Yeah, I told my kids, I'm like, I started drinking at 15 and I just haven't stopped. So I don't know what to tell you.
Makes me a better person.
Yeah. But it goes so well with skiing, and earthship building.
There you go, right? You're getting building materials. It's very important. You want to source the best.
Exactly.
The tequila fence over here. We got 6 horses because of this fence that I helped build.
Well, it's funny. The tequila bottles have great bottoms of their bottles, and we cut them in half and tape them together, and they make these beautiful bricks that bring light through into your house. So we also collect all the whiskey bottles and tequila bottles, and so people have like little glass designs with a horseshoe from like Hornitos in their house, and it's just another great building material.
Is there a specific tequila bottle that's the best one for building?
Well, the Patron ones have that kind of indentation on the back, and when you cut those and you tape them, it actually looks like a Home Depot brick that you pay $5 for. So those work great.
So basically, me throwing those in the recycling bin, I'm just giving away my building materials at this point.
That's right. Yeah.
Stupid. All right, Tom. So couple more ski questions. I will start wrapping
Yeah.
this up. Do you have any big ski goals for this season? Any places you want to go? Number of days
Yeah.
you're aiming for?
Well, my holy grail has always been Turner Mountain up there in Yak, Montana. I've always wanted to go up there for different reasons. But I also want to get into ski racing, and I'm trying to get access to the racing gates at Taos Ski Valley without having to pay. And I have this goal to get into ski racing. All my friends say I'm insane, but it looks like really fun to me. So, and I've been jumping more and more, and I've been doing a little bit of rails, and
Look at
so
you.
it's always the progressions. And I've had to decide, like at 56, do I really want to keep pushing it, or should I just ski and be content with where I'm at? And I've decided I'm going to keep pushing it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to me. It seems like if you're not growing, you're dying. I'm
That's
a
what I
big
believe.
believer in that too. Like I'm still like working out, like lifting 4 days a week, and trying to. I was like sprinting after my kids yesterday. Like I'm doing it too partially because it's like I don't want my kids. Like I don't want to be the dad who's like, I can't do that. Well, come back here. I'm just gonna sit here and watch you do it. Like I want to be the dad who's running around, rolling in the dirt, getting dirty with them because I want them to have those memories too. It keeps me young and keeps them, interested, and but then I'm gonna be part of what they're doing.
Well, I was in elementary school. I've been a teacher and a coach for 25 years. And, I used to have some tough talks with some dads that were having a hard time with their kids and yelling and hitting. And I'd always take them into my room alone and just say, if you just give your kids attention and love, it's going to pay off a million times over. And like, you don't need to overreact to anything, even their bad behavior. Just stay in the game, give those kids attention, play with them, and man, you're going to be the best dad ever. And like, when I hear you talking about your kids, I'm like, Brian's like the ideal dad for these kids. They're going to have such a great life, skiing with you and having that bond with you. I mean, there's nothing better that a dad can do.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And it's, it's tough, like, especially you had 2 boys. So, like boys can be, they want to, at one point, they challenge the alpha. They want to eat the liver. That's just how, that's how it goes in the male pecking order. And, in a way you want to prepare them to be that alpha.
Yeah. It's, the boys will push you to wanting to like scream and alpha dominate them. But like, you just got to resist that because that you can just blow your relationship with your kids. But like, I was amazed when my kids were like 4 and 5, how many people were like promoting that I needed to yell at them or hit them, And it's just like people are invested in that for some reason. And it's just like, no, you just need to give them some boundaries and you need to follow through on some of your and have kindness and love, and you're going to do great. It's funny how panicked some dads get when their kid isn't like doing exactly what they want. And it's just like patience and love, man. It's gonna work. And I think all these ski bums in the world, they're doing it so good, like raising their kids that way. Like they're gonna always have that bond.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. Like again, why I try to stay in shape is I just want to be around for them. Like when they're in their 20s and 30s, and they bring their kids out there. Like I want to be able to go out there. Like I want to still be able to at least be functioning and teach them a little something. Like it's just a gift that you will always have and you can always share with them. Which there's nothing else. You can buy them all the crap you want, but that's just stuff. This memories. Like, I mean, I still think about the days we go out there together, and I remember them so fondly. I don't remember the dumb stuff I did at work the day before. I don't think about the bills I was stressing out about the day before. Like, I just think about the great times that we had together.
Heck yeah. I mean, the kids, they just need to get away from the phones and the computers, and what a better way than skiing. And man, when you let them loose on a mountain at 5 years old, they're starting to experience independence, and they get kind of cocky and confident and all those things you want to, enhance with your children. And it's kind of like, I always told people that Taos Ski Valley was like this great neighborhood where the kids could go anywhere and do anything because everyone knew them. Everyone would keep an eye on them. and they were just like, it was a safe neighborhood. Like, we live out in the middle of nowhere, so we don't have much of a neighborhood. I grew up in a really cool neighborhood, but Taos Ski Valley was my kids' neighborhood. You know, they could go to this restaurant and get candy and go over here and play pool. And like, people would tell me, hey, I saw Josiah up on lift 4. You know, it's like this community up there. It was really nice.
Kind of watching out for each other and making sure everyone's taken care of, which is, hey, that's a beautiful thing.
It was. It has been.
Tom, anything else you want to share? If people want to find out more information about Earthships, where can they find that YouTube video?
Well, you could just, go to YouTube and just type in Earthship, and there's a bunch of videos. The one that I have, there's 4 million views on and I give a tour of all the different Earthships. That was by a lady named Kirsten Dirksen that does all these architectural videos. And so she's kind of well known. And you can just go to earthship.com. There's also an academy where we do lectures and hands-on building for students. They can come out for a month and learn how to do it. You can also do it like my wife and I, just come out and just force yourself on everyone and tell them you're going to help them build your house and start getting some experience that way. But there's a ton of resources online, and then you can do the Earthship Academy is this great experience for a lot of people. Like, you really get all the instruction and all the hands-on kind of help you need if you want to build one.
Take that, Vale Village. Right?
What's that?
Vale Village has nothing on Earthship community in Taos, right?
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping all the Vale Villages of the world really start using some of the concepts, especially the sewage treatment. Like, when I leave Taos Ski Valley on a Sunday, you can smell the sewage, and it's got to be overloading the system. And there's a creek right there, and so I'm sure untreated sewage gets let loose in there. And it's like, if they had your traditional Earthship blackwater absorption field, they could treat all that sewage and not even pump it into the river. So that's just one of my soapbox subjects. As humans, let's learn how to treat our own shit. Let's grow sunflowers with our shit instead of using energy to kill the bacteria and then pump it into a river. Like, plants can absorb shit. Like, let's do it.
Hey man, I live in New Jersey. I know all about sewage and shit.
Yeah.
It's just
the big issue.
Telling me. Well, Tom, thank you so much for your time. It was great finally getting to chat with you, and I will put the links in the show notes so they can find the videos and Earthship Academy. So thank you so much, and anytime you want to come back on, man, we're always welcome to have you.
Hey, I love it. It's been a dream ever since I've been listening to you guys, 4 years ago. So I'm excited to be part of the program finally.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will do our best to get out there this winter.
And keep it up. You and you and Mario got talent. I want to see you guys move into more and better and more celebrity kind of situation in the future, because you guys got that talent.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to be our agent, we'll give you 10%.
Here, I would do it. We'll talk.
Let's figure something out.
Okay.
All right, Tom. Thanks so much.
Good talking to you, Brian.
All right, you too. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want more information, check out the website, skibumpodcast.com. We'll have links in the show notes so you too can check out Taos and Earthship Living. Awesome. Well, that wraps the old podcast up for the week. Thank you so much for listening. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on the socials, X, Facebook, Instagram, Untapped, YouTube, @skibumpodcast. Become part of the family. Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. Need some swag, need some gear. The upcoming season, skibumpodcast.com/shop. 10,000 if you're looking for some workout gear to get you ready for the upcoming ski season. Can't recommend it enough. 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15 for 15% off. Snowbound Expo. It's coming up November 3rd through 5th up in Boston. We are going to have a great interview next week, and we'll learn out more about Snowbound. We'll get fired up for it. We'll get you fired up. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay fluent.
See ya.